You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, CBS soap opera fans. This is Soap Dirt on YouTube, and we want to talk about Liam Spencer gaslighting himself on Bold and Beautiful right now, and about what he's going to do next when he just can't keep control of his suspicious mind. If you haven't already, reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our Bold and Beautiful updates, casting news, other spoilers. Now let's dig into this. What it feels like to me is that Liam is kind of writing this story in his head, this mental fiction that sounds like an illicit romance novel in his head about Thomas and Hope, where, you know, Thomas is this cad and she's just this innocent girl, and he keeps just basically making things up that he thinks Thomas is doing and then working himself up over it. And every time he talks to his brother Wyatt Spencer, Wyatt does the same thing, and he engages in this fiction creation and what if that spins Liam out of control. And I think we can all agree that his character right now is super needy and clingy and annoying. Even Hope Logan mentioned to Thomas this past week about basically all the extraordinary effort she has to go in to reassure him. She said, even though he's never given him a reason to doubt her. However, we do want to say we did another video recently about Hope's cheating past, because Bold and the Beautiful writers are taking a lot of liberty with her history. She does have a history of infidelity, and she has a history of enabling the men in her life to commit infidelity. Even when she's not involved with someone, she's with someone that's in a relationship. We went over that. Check our Bold and the Beautiful playlist if you want to check it out, where we dig into the history and point out what they're saying right now is not the truth. So right now, in this recent episode, Liam was talking to Steffy about this San Francisco trip. And he said, things like this always happen when Thomas is involved, implying that somehow the plane had some kind of mechanical difficulty because of Thomas. Like Thomas put on coveralls and a wrench and like tore apart at the plane. Ridiculous. And then he basically said that Thomas pushed himself into a position to where they had to take him on the trip. And Steffy had to set him straight on that and say, no, that's not the case. The buyers wanted to meet the lead designer. She is dialing him back and dialing him back and dialing him back, where every time he goes off on Thomas, she's trying to calm him down. But at the same time, she knows that there is a problem because Hope has this thing for Thomas. And Liam even said to Steffy that when Taylor Hayes was talking to him, he said, Taylor thinks that I'm being unreasonable. He is being unreasonable. I think we can all agree that he's being unreasonable. I mean, it's okay to worry, but when everybody else that's around Thomas, a lot more than he is, are saying he's doing really well, you know, he doesn't. And Liam's suspicions and constant basically stalking them at work and stuff, that doesn't help anything. It's not a good look on Liam right now. So we also are seeing this week that Steffy is uncomfortable as Liam keeps trash talking Thomas. Meanwhile, Hope was a blushing mess on the Forrester jet, getting a neck rub from Thomas because she was all stressed out. And the reason she was all stressed out is because Liam had his panties in a bunch back in LA, and she knew that. And the idea of coming home to him all blah, 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 Thomas, blah, 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 was stressing her out. And that wound up in the massage where she was, you know, getting off in her head and thinking about Thomas. So, you know, what we really think is that this is going to blow up soon. Steffy tells Finn about Hope. They talked about it briefly on Monday, but they're going to dig more into it on Tuesday, May 16th, about Hope being into Thomas and what she's worried about. And then, despite all the assurances, despite it working out and Hope getting home on time, yada, yada, on Friday, May 19th, Liam is back over at Forrester Creations to talk to Thomas. And the question is, why? Why? There's nothing that happened on this business trip. What is Liam going to do? Is he going to show up and play nice and say, okay, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and I'm going to back off. That would be the only acceptable thing for Liam to say. But Liam keeps gaslighting himself. He keeps basically making things up in his head, and then based on the things he's made up in his head, then he acts out based upon them, and he's just become a bother, and he keeps showing up at Forrester Creations. He keeps not paying attention to his job. Wyatt just called him out about that when he was basically blowing him off because he was getting worked up about them. It's just, not a good look at all. So that same day, on Friday, May 19th, we have an official Bold and Beautiful spoiler that Thomas overhears something that he doesn't like. Let's talk about that in just a second. If you haven't already, reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our Bold and Beautiful spoilers, casting news, everything you want to know about your favorite CBS soap. So Thomas overhears something that he doesn't like. And I wonder if it might be, because that's the same day that Liam is at Forrester Creations, if Thomas overhears Liam and Hope talking, and Hope has to say things to reassure Liam that are basically disparaging to Thomas, like, I would never go near him, I would never think about him, something like that, something kind of insulting to Thomas that might hurt his feelings if she knew he was there, but she doesn't expect him to be there. It's just hard to imagine what he could overhear that he wouldn't like. Because if he heard Steffy telling somebody, I think Hope really likes Thomas, I don't think that would upset him. I think it would be like, well, really? Yeah, I'm kind of noticing that. So it's all very interesting, but the bottom line is everything that's going on right now about Thomas is all in Liam's head. It's like this weird negative fan fiction that he is writing. But what I wonder is if what he's doing is actually transference. Have you heard of that? Psychological transference? It's where when you are doing something bad, you accuse somebody else of it. So like if you're cheating as part of your coping mechanism with your guilt over it, you accuse your partner of cheating. You're transferring your guilt onto them. And that's what it could be with Liam, but he's doing transference towards Thomas instead of Hope. And it can be anything. It could be cheating, it could be lying, anything like that. But transference might explain this. But Liam, I feel like, is definitely self-gaslighting and keeps working himself up, and he is looking in the wrong direction. Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you agree that Liam is gaslighting himself? Do you think he needs to stay the heck away from Forrester Creations? Or is he well within reasonable boundaries to be acting the way that he is right now?
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.